Hey everyone, it is John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur here, coming at you tonight with another great um, topic. And you know what the topic is. But before I give that to you, I'm going to go ahead and pop up my QR code. If you are new, just take your phone and scan that QR code. That will actually direct you to my link tree. What the heck is a link tree? Well, it's linktr dot ee. That's linktr dot ee /JOHNCMORLEY, serial, SERIAL, entrepreneur, ENTREPRENEUR. That'll get you my link tree and all kinds of great stuff that I do. And if you are coming back, well, welcome back. It is so great to have you. And I am really happy today because, yes, we have something really interesting to celebrate today. We are over 150 likes on John C. Morley's Serial Entrepreneur. So it is great. How and why should we forgive others? Yes. How and why should we forgive others? I mean, I think that's really the question. How and why should we forgive others? And so I think it's hitting a lot of people. Why it's hitting a lot of people? Well, here's why. I think the main reason is that a lot of people out there don't realize what's happening. Okay. They don't understand, what's going on. They understand why they're feeling the way they are, but they are, right? And so when we think about, the whole concept of how to forgive, I mean, I know that can seem a little bit, how can I say that could seem a little mind boggling? Should we say that? It can probably seem very, very mind boggling, actually. And so I think the challenge for a lot of people when we think about, forgiveness, it becomes a slight challenge. And the challenge is that we have an ego that we're trying to feed, and that causes all kinds of problems. So, again, I am very grateful today that we are now streaming on the John C. Morley Serial Entrepreneur page. Why is this important? Well, because, see, having thousands and thousands of people that follow you is great, but it's really good to be able to target the people that really want to watch your content. Out of 6,000 people, all those people that follow me, that know me, the people that follow me on my page really resonate with the type of things I talk about, whether that's serial entrepreneurship, engineering, marketing, talk show hosting, keynote speaker, motivational speaker. So when we think about, how can I say, forgiveness, and somebody doesn't forgive you, what do? Well, do you cry about it? No, you don't cry about it. But I think what does happen is you get a little bit upset that somebody's not forgiving you. And then what do? Well, you try to figure out why they're not forgiving, right? I think that's what you try to figure out. But really, what we need to understand in forgiveness is that forgiveness has to start with ourself. If we cannot believe, if we can't believe then how can we continue? I think it has to come down to something very interesting. You know what that is? I think it comes down to the fact that people don't get everything, right? I think what happens most of the time is that when somebody doesn't believe in themselves and they don't even believe that they're capable of forgiving themselves, how can they forgive others? So you got somebody that's mean and nasty, unfortunately, and they're exuding that type of behavior. Remember, a person is not mean or nasty. It's just the behavior that they're exhibiting. So when we think about somebody's behavior, how do we address that? It's important to address it from the behavior standpoint, not from the fact that hey, you're mean. Okay. The behavior you're eliciting toward me is making me feel hurtful. Okay. It's making me feel hurtful. And I think the big challenge is that when somebody feels hurtful, they want to take revenge out on others. Now, I think that's a bad thing. I always tell somebody if you're not happy with the way something's going, take a deep breath, hold it, or why don't you just count to 30? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And notice how you're starting to feel a little bit better now because you actually feel that way. You've had a chance. Somebody once said to me, John, if you're angry at somebody, which hopefully you never are, write that nasty note. Okay, write that email. And then take a deep breath and delete it. Or write the nasty letter, set it on fire, or put it into your shredder because you got that emotion, you got that stuff out of your body. Now you're able to do things that are going to be productive. And actually, you're going to elicit a behavior that is going to be more conducive to forgiveness. Tomorrow is a real doozy day. Tomorrow, we're going to get into a lot of great stuff. But when we think about forgiveness and we think about somebody who has been a repeat offender, right? They keep doing this over and over again. Maybe they lie to us. Maybe they lie again. They lie a third time. Or maybe they just, I don't know, they do something that just really annoys us. Or something that makes us feel very bad. How do you handle that? Do you go to the person and say, hey, knock it off? First of all, that's going to go nowhere. You can say, hey, look, Joe, I understand that you like to be the class clown all the time, or I understand that you want to feed your ego. I get it. Maybe there's one thing I want to tell you, and it's not about you, it's about the behavior eliciting, because I think you're a great person. When this behavior comes out from you, I feel so bad. I want to crawl up into a ball. And it makes me vindictive, but that's not the kind of person I am. Just like I know you're not the kind of person that wants to do these things, but somehow they come out because of the behavior. I was just wondering if maybe that behavior could be changed. Because I like the person that actually doesn't do those things. You're the same person, but the behavior is different. So what am I supposed to do? It bothers me when you treat me like that. And I wish that you would respect me. I know that if the tables were turned and I was acting this way to you, how would you feel? Would you tell me to knock it off? Would you try to beat me up? I mean, what would you do? Would you sit down with me and say, hey, John, can you knock it off? Would you attack me as a person? Or would you talk about the behavior? I think you'd probably talk about me as a person, saying you don't like me when I'm like this. So I don't like the behavior that's coming from you. I think you're a great person. Just the behavior that you're starting to put forth right now, it bothers me. It bothers me. Because it actually makes me feel bad inside. And I said this to you before, Joe. No one has the right in this world to make us feel inferior but ourselves. We should never be inferior. but no one has the right to make us feel inferior or bad. So when we think about forgiveness, most people I know, when you say that word, they're like, oh, talk to somebody else about that. Like, they don't even want to talk to you. I think it's because they've had so many bad experiences to trying to, I don't want to use the word corner, but trying to convince, show, educate the other person that, hey, I don't like this behavior. I don't like it. Why are you doing it? And if they can't give you an answer, then I believe they need to do some soul searching and figure out why they're doing this. Because if it's bothering you, it's bothering other people. I got news for you. It's bothering other people. If somebody kept doing something to you over and over and over again, and you asked them to stop, and you told them that, they're a good person, and you told them it's the behavior that's bothering them, what do you think would happen? Most people would be like, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't know that bothered you. But then you can always get the schmucks to be like, oh, it's bothering you? Great. I'll do it some more. I mean, you've had those class clowns, right? From school. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do it just because it's bothering you. And even some adults will do that. They actually will act like their shoe size. It happens with neighbors. It can happen in school boards. It can happen on volunteer boards or organizations. They get this fire in this ego, and they need to feed this ego, but they don't know how to feed it. So they just grab everything, even if it means being ruthless to people they care about. I think that's terrible. So how do we stop this? Well, one thing we have to tell our friend is that, hey, I get you're having an issue, okay? It's not my business if you don't want to talk about it. And I'm not going to stay around here and let you treat me like a punching bag. And then they're kind of like biting their tongue, like, oh, shoot, what did I do? What did I say? It's when people are alone that they have a chance to actually reflect on what they said and what others said. That's really what it's about. But too many times, ladies and gentlemen, it becomes all about you. When I say you, meaning me, right? You. So we would say me if we're talking about ourselves. And I think the reason that this is challenging for a lot of people is that it's difficult. It's difficult. It's extremely difficult. But nobody has an answer as to why it's difficult, right? They don't have an answer. And so they believe that they should just do whatever they want to do. And for whatever reason, they become more vindictive. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? So if we can start to understand how we're responding and how it's driving other people, that's right, you heard me say that right, away from us, right? Then I believe that maybe, just maybe, we might be able to change what's going on. That sounds very interesting, doesn't it? It does. And the truth of the matter is, some people may never get this. It's not because they don't want to get it. it's really because they think everything's okay. And of course, there's the other group of people that don't do it because they really don't want to get it. But most of the people don't forgive because they believe there's no reason to forgive. There's no point. Oh, don't worry about it. You hit the person. Oh, don't worry about it. If you just hit them, don't worry about it. How many times have you been on a plane and maybe you bumped the person and was, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, they'll say, oh, don't worry about it. You bumped them. Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. It's under 5 or something. I'm like, what the heck is that? Oh, it's just a known thing. You don't have to say you're sorry. You don't. I bumped their chair. Yeah, don't worry about it. So I think it's conditioning. And I think that conditioning is bringing us away from being human beings. And that's a problem. So we got one more night of this. How and why should you forgive? That'll be tomorrow night. It'll be Thursday night. That'll be the grand finale. And then Saturday, we'll have an entirely new topic for a whole new series. And pretty soon, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start having guests on the Inspirations for You show. Again, I am so grateful for everyone that has followed the page. If you haven't already, please do follow it. If it really resonated with you, why not go out to YouTube? But remember to tag all your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share it out to everyone you know. Go to youtube.com, type in my name, John, space, C, space, Morley, space, serial entrepreneur. Look for the key phrase, help keep our content free. Below that, make the choice to buy my team and I a cup of coffee. We'll be so grateful with those pennies and dollars. We'll invest them into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, and new facilities, and even new staff to give you the most jaw-dropping, cutting-edge, motivational content to get you out of procrastination mode and into inspired action that you need to take to become a better version of yourself. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It has been a privilege, a pleasure, and an honor to be with you once again this evening. And I'll be back tomorrow for the wrap-up of how and why we should forgive. Comment below if this is resonating with you in your life. Thanks, everyone.